That's okay. Go ahead and raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and speak into the microphone and introduce yourself to the court.
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Taylor Jones, and I'm a student at Apalachee High School.
Okay. And go ahead and tell him what you would like him to know in the sentencing of Mr. Colin Gray.
On September 4th, 2024, I was really scared and confused because I saw a Colt standing in the doorway with a gun. After I heard the first gunshot, I saw my teacher jump onto the floor, so I did too. And a few seconds later, I had realized I had been shot, and I immediately turned to my friend Landon, asking him to hold my hand. After the gunshot stopped, my friend came over to me, helping me in any way they could. I remember telling my friends to call my brother to let him know that I had been shot and I didn't know if I was going to make it. Right after that, I started having trouble staying awake. My friends were sitting with me, doing anything they could to help me stay awake. The next thing I remember is waking up in the helicopter. I was very terrified, and I started asking them to take me to the hospital. Once I got to Grady, I started having trouble staying awake again. When we landed, there were lots of doctors surrounding me. My memories after landing at Grady are not good, but I would be in and out of the hospital for 3 or 4 months. I required life-saving surgery and many more surgeries after that. I was in lots of pain, on many medications, and I was told that I might not be able to walk again. About a year later, I was able to walk again with support, and soon after that, I started walking on my own. As you all may know, not only did his actions affect me and my family that day, but it infected the entire Apalachee community. Although Colt's actions hurt me, I refused to give up. Every day I continued telling myself that I am strong and I am brave. After the shooting, I struggled with so much anxiety, and I felt like my life was completely over. I couldn't do anything a normal 14-year-old should be able to do. I wasn't able to go to school, so I switched to homebound, where I met my teacher, Miss Harrington. She was the only person from the school to call and check up on me, the only one that came out to the hospital to see me and make sure that I was doing okay. Moving on from this experience is very hard, and if I hadn't met some of the people that supported me along the way, I don't know where I would be. I've been going to physical therapy for almost 2 years now, and my therapist, Jess, has always made sure that I was okay and always comforted me when I was having rough days. This experience has been one of the hardest things anyone could go through, but I've learned so much from it. I hope my story makes Colt realize the horrible things that he has done and all the pain and suffering that he has caused. I hope my story brings light into someone else's story that's also gone through the same thing I've gone through and reminds them that they are not alone. A just outcome will help me finally begin to heal in peace. I hope that Colt is sentenced to life in prison without the chance of parole. Thank you.
Any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Why don't we go ahead and take about a 10-minute recess, restroom and such. All right, we recess for about 10 minutes.
Hi, my name is Natalie Griffith. On September 4th, I got shot twice, once in my wrist and once in my upper arm. I lost the ability to use my left hand, but on some days it doesn't feel like that is the biggest thing that I lost. The morning of the shooting felt normal. I got on the bus and sat alone because my friend Lorelai wasn't... Sorry. The morning of the shooting felt normal. I got on the bus and sat alone because my friend and Lorelai wasn't on the bus. I was cold because I forgot my jacket and I was wearing one of the new t-shirts I got for my birthday. I was listening to a song called ADHD and thinking about how we were going to start a new unit in algebra. I never thought for a second that there would be a shooting. Then there was one. Ms. Ryan was about to give instructions. I think we were about to break into small groups when I heard a banging and thought it was a fight. Never once did I think that it was a gun or a bullet. I never thought something like that would happen here. Those things happen in places where the sun doesn't shine as bright. Now, whenever I hear loud sounds, a door slamming, a book dropping, or people crowding and talking in another room, my mind immediately goes to the worst possible scenario. I wonder if there's a gun. I wonder if I need to run. I'm still very afraid of loud sounds, and I start to panic when I hear them. Some days when I think about the shooting, it feels like he killed me, even though I lived. The part of me that trusted people died, and I lost myself before the shooting. My smile was different. I did not think about danger the way I do now. I did not constantly think about my surroundings. I think about the shooting every day of my life. I wonder when I will stop thinking about it every day, and then, just like that, I've lost again. I wonder how different my life would be if that one moment had never happened. I wonder I wonder whether the person I am today is the person I would have become if the shooting had never occurred. After the shooting, I felt like my independence was taken away for a while. I could not put on my own clothes by myself or do my own hair. Things that used to be easy for me were now impossible challenges. Even now, whenever I try to tie my shoes, it's never quite right. To this day, I cannot type normally, which has impacted my ability to be as successful in school as I want to be. I cannot hold many things because I lost the use of an opposable thumb. The recovery process has been long and difficult. I had to undergo 2 different surgeries, attend physical therapy twice a week for the first year, and then once a week after that. Tasks that should be simple remain difficult. But the physical injuries are only part of what I lost. When everyone went back to school, I went back too. But not because I wanted to, but because I knew if I didn't, I never would. I wanted to be near my community, but going back also reminded me just how many things have changed. Physically, the shooting changed nearly every part of my life. I lost the use of my left arm. For a year, I could not cut my own food, and I had to rely on other people to help me. I lost the ability to play my flute, and I couldn't participate in marching band, which is one of my favorite things to do. I was in physical pain because my nerves were trying to heal, and I could not do the things I loved, like crocheting or playing video games. I remember sitting in my living room and crying because I was so frustrated, angry, and sad that the things I loved had been ripped away from me. The shooting was like an earthquake. My entire world was moved and rocked, and when it finished, nothing was in the same place it started. The strange thing is that for most people, the world kept going. There was no earthquake, and I think back to the day and become angry knowing my life was permanently changed by the decisions of one person. The shooting has affected how I look at my future. I'm limited in what jobs I can apply for because I do not have full use of my hand. I worry about what my life will be like years from now and whether it will ever feel normal. I think about the people who did not get to go on living. I think about Mason and Christian and their families. Their mothers both have 4 children, and now they only get to hug 3. They only get to talk to 3. I knew both boys since elementary school. I never expected them to not be here. Every day since the shooting, I've thought about what I would say to him. Every day I thought about if I had more time to speak to him on that day of the shooting, what would I have said? So I'd like to be able to do that now. I hate you and I'm mad at you because you had options. You had other options besides going in and killing a bunch of innocent people that did absolutely nothing to you. If you had waited maybe even 2 months, you would have found friends. I would have been your friend, and I know a bunch more people would have if you had just waited. I think you're entitled for doing the things that you have done, and I hope that every single day you think about the other options you could have had. I hope that 10 years from now you think, hey, I did this thing, that was so stupid. And I hope that you realize something that you did when you were 14 is going to impact you for the rest of your life, when you could have gone on and lived a good life. The shooting took much more than the use of my hand. It took my sense of safety, my independence, my trust, and a part of the person I used to be. While I survived, I carry the impact of that day with me for the rest of my life. It only seems fair that every innocent person that has had to feel the impact of Colt Way's choices for the rest of our lives, then he should receive the maximum sentence for his crimes. Thank you. Have a great day.
No, you're on.
Keep this to that. Yeah. Okay. Your Honor, next we have Nautica Walton. All right, go ahead and raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes.
Go ahead and introduce yourself to the court.
Hi, my name is Nautica Walton.
And you can go ahead and tell the court what you would like him to know in regards to the sentencing of Colin Gray.
The past couple of years since September 4th have been the hardest years of my life. About once a week, I find myself thinking about what would it feel like to be normal again. I think about my freshman year, but not with happiness, with anger, confusion, and sadness. For a long time, I was angry at the world because of what you chose to do. At some point, I became afraid of everything. I hated the dark because it reminded me of when the lights went out and all we saw was emergency lights. I hated sitting faced away from the door. I hate the thought of walking to second period by myself. Over time, the fear turned into something even worse. I started to hate myself because I couldn't truly live anymore. I felt guilty because I let you take every piece of joy I had away from me. I let you steal my happiness, not only from me, but the people that loved me and my friends. I hate everything about you. I hate the scars you left on my body. I hate that you took innocent lives in front of innocent people. Most of all, I hate that I let you live in my mind rent-free. Every time I closed my eyes, all I could hear was screams and cries. But after a while, something changed. It slowly turned into courage. Even though I'm scared to stand here today and speak in front of the courtroom, I refuse to let you win this time. I refuse to let you see me the way you saw me September 4th. I refuse to let you believe that you have control over me or control over my classmates. Most of the hate's gone, but all the scars are still there, all the triggers are there, all the emotions are still there. Those things are never completely going to disappear. You took away the innocence of so many kids in that classroom that day just because of what you were going through. That's something that we will never get back. What you cannot take away from me is the person I am choosing to become. I'm still here, I'm healing, and I'm finding my strength again. Every day that I continue to move forward, I'm showing you that you did not destroy me. You changed my life forever, but you will not define the rest of it.
Thank you. Any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Your Honor, next we're going to call Hayden Brown to give her victim impact statement. Hayden Bowen. Go ahead and raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Okay. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the court.
Good morning, I'm Hayden Bowen.
Okay. And go ahead and tell the court what you would like him to know about the sentencing of Colin Gray. It's okay. He's not ready for you, okay?
First, I want to start off by saying that I forgive you.
Hey, can I get you to speak up a little bit?
You need to address the court.
I want to start off by saying that I forgive you. Not for you, but for me and my peace. What you went through at the hands of your parents was not okay, and I don't wish that on anyone. But it does not excuse what you did. It was not right. It completely changed my life. It disrupted not only me, but my family and our lives. My family is often anxious about me and constantly checking up on me because of how much it affected my life. I now live with fear lurking behind me everywhere I go. Everywhere. I have frequent panic attacks. I can't stay in places for too long. I can't go out anywhere. I can't even stay in my own bedroom without feeling fear. I'm not able to be a normal teenager anymore. Before all of this, my biggest concern was who's going to walk me to class. But now I can't go a second without having to think whether or not I'm going to be safe while trying to learn. Of course, I'm so angry. But I know my God, and evil never wins.
Any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Our next victim impact statement is from Ariana Norman. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Go ahead and introduce yourself to the court.
Your Honor, my name is Ariana Norman.
And you can go ahead and tell him what you would like him to know about the sentencing hearing for Colin Gray.
Your Honor, thank you for the opportunity to be able to speak today and share how September 4th has impacted me. My name is Ariana Norman, and I'm giving this statement regarding Colin Gray. September 4th is a day I will never look at the same again. It was a day where many people experienced chaos, high anxiety, and tragedy. September 4th was a day I should never have had to witness, and it has affected me and the Barrow County community deeply. This shooting has deeply affected my mental health. Since the September 4th shooting, I have been prescribed medication for anxiety because of my constant worry that something bad would happen again. I would often, after the shooting, wake up from nightmares and have to get help just to go back to sleep. Sometimes even just walking around my neighborhood months after the shooting, I found myself feeling like passing cars would harm me. Because of this, I no longer feel safe in my halls, which makes it hard to learn because I feel like I'm constantly looking over my shoulder, just waiting for something bad to happen. And any sort of loud noise always alerts me because I feel like something bad is going to happen. For example, I don't hear fireworks the same again because to me, they sound like gunshots. And when it's far away, it can be hard to tell the difference, which always gives me anxiety. And now I feel the need to identify an escape route everywhere I go because I get scared that I'm going to be trapped like I was on September 4th. The people at Apalachee could have been friends with Colt, but he decided to take a different route. And for this, he deserves whatever punishment he is giving. Thank you for listening.
Any questions?
No, Your Honor.
The next, Ms. Alex Daniel from our office is going to read some victim impact statements that were written.
So, Judge, I believe I have two written statements. The first is from Michaela Brown. She was one of the students that was in the classroom that day. Her statement says, "The Apalachee High School shooting on September 4th, 2025 was a tragic and terrifying event that has affected not only the people directly involved, but also students everywhere. Knowing that something like this can happen at a school makes me feel very unsafe and anxious. Since being involved with the shooting, I've felt scared to even go in the dark to take my dogs out to use the bathroom. Loud noises like doors slamming hard make me jump because they remind me what could happen. It's hard to feel relaxed or normal when things like that are always in the back of my mind. I also get nervous being home alone because I'm thinking someone's going to break in and hurt me. I don't feel as safe as I used to before. I used to think Apalachee was going to be a safe place for me to learn and graduate and make new friends, but now I just go to school thinking I'm not safe here. This situation shows how deeply events like this can impact students mentally and emotionally. It's not just something that happens and goes away, it stays with people. Schools are supposed to be safe places, and when that safety is broken, it changes how we feel every day." And Judge, the second statement is on behalf of Jackson Beaver, who was one of the individuals, one of the children that was injured in the classroom. It was prepared on behalf of him and his family, I believe prepared by his mother, Sarah Beaver. It says, "Your Honor, I have struggled to find the words for today because there are no words that can fully explain what September 4th, 2024 took from so many people. I stand before you as the mother of a child who survived that day, but surviving is not the same as being untouched by it. As I prepared this statement, I found myself wrestling with emotions I never imagined I could hold at the same time. Part of me looks at the defendant and sees a 14-year-old boy. I see a child who somewhere along the way was failed by the very people and systems that were supposed to protect him. I see a child who deserved safety, love, guidance, and intervention long before violence became part of his story. I grieve for the innocence that was stolen from him before he ever walked into Apalachee High School. But another part of me sees the person who made a choice that forever changed hundreds of lives. I hate that he lost his childhood, but I hate even more that he believed it was his place to steal the childhoods of the others. He didn't just take lives. He took futures. He took peace. He took the feeling every parent has when they watch their child walk into school, believing that they will come home that afternoon. Today, I want this court to remember the names of the people whose lives were forever changed. Mason, Christian, Richard, Christina. They were not victims on a page. They were sons, daughters, teachers, friends, classmates, and loved ones. They should be remembered for the lives they lived, not simply for the ways they died. I also want this court to remember Natalie, Melanie, Taylor, Jackson, and every other student and teacher who survived physically, but continue to carry invisible wounds. Remember the ones who have scars that they see every day and have flashbacks to the horror that they endured. Some injuries heal, others become part of you forever. The weapon used to cause all this destruction didn't just pierce Jackson's skin, it stayed there. 8 to 9 pieces of metal are permanently embedded in his thigh. He is forced to carry the literal weight of a mass shooting inside his own flesh every single day. The defendant's childhood may explain how we arrived here, but it does not excuse where we ended up. Because while he may have been failed by adults, he became the reason innocent children lost their sense of safety forever. Parents like me now understand what it feels like to wait for a phone call that may never come. Children now know what gunfire sounds like inside their school. Families now live with empty chairs, unanswered questions, nightmares, anniversaries, and grief that will never fully disappear. There's another loss that is harder to describe. Before September 4th, 2024, I believed schools were safe places. I believed that if I hugged my child goodbye in the morning, I would see him that afternoon. I believed tragedies like this happened somewhere else, and that version of me no longer exists. The defendant did not only change the lives of the people inside the walls that day, he changed every parent who sent a child to school afterward, wondering if today would be the day their world falls apart. I have compassion for the child he once was. I have compassion for the life he should have had. But my compassion cannot outweigh the devastation left behind by the choices he made. Two things can be true at the same time. He was a child who was failed. He was also the person who failed countless innocent children and their families. And one tragedy does not erase another. Nothing this court does today can bring back Mason, Christian, Richard, or Christina. Nothing can erase the trauma carried by Natalie, Melanie, Taylor, Jackson, the other survivors, their families, or this community. Justice cannot change the past, but it can acknowledge the weight of what was taken. I ask this court to remember every name, every family, every empty seat, every scar that cannot be seen, and every life that will forever be measured as before September 4th, 2024, and after September 4th of 2024. That is the true impact of what happened. Thank you.
And Your Honor, that concludes our victim impact at this time. We would like to take a short break before we begin presentation of further evidence.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, my understanding is we're going to move on to additional witnesses, non-victim impact testimony. We need to take a break. So the audio-visual stuff can be